Okay, so I haven't done a live in a while, so I see that we have one person on. If you could, that one person, whoever you are out there in Facebook land, could you just give me a thumbs up? Let me know that you can hear me somehow. Can you give me some kind of indication that I am actually speaking here? I haven't done this for about 6, 7 weeks, this live. Um, so I just want to make sure like it's the sound's on. Okay, so I'm just going to start to roll here, and hopefully we get some more people because uh, this is what's happening out there is just I don't even have freaking words for what's happening out there when it comes to this right here. All right. And I just pray and pray and pray that we're almost at the end of this ridiculous thing that's happening. But I just got off the phone with a 26-year-old male damaged by the, and you know what? I got to do this and I got to do sign language and all this stuff because you know what? If I don't do it, guess what happens to my Facebook station, my YouTube station? It goes away. It disappears. It's gone forever. That's what happens out there right now in the current environment is if you say something that's against the powers to be, you will be banned. You will be vanished. You will no longer be able to actually speak the truth, man. So I'm going to go over this case because this is really, really upsetting. And there's lots and lots, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that are in this, maybe even millions of people that are in this situation. And this has occurred to you or it's occurred to them. And if you're on my station, you've probably had some bad experiences with antibiotics and you've been damaged, you've been mauled in the system, and there's really no recourse for you except for you to continue to suffer. And you go into the conventional system and say, you're crazy, it didn't happen, that's BS, it's not true, you're lying, you're malingering, that's not what's occurring. This is the treatment that people are getting. This is the treatment that this person, and I'm going to use a different name, I'm going to call him Mike. I just got off the phone from Mike, California, a 26-year-old guy that was loving life, that was surfing, mountain biking, hiking, doing all these stuff, all these different things in California, and was loving life. A really thin, good-looking young man that had his whole future ahead of him. His whole future ahead of him, and now his future is completely destroyed. He went from a young human being to what he said he was almost dead. He was in the hospital. So this is the notes right here. These are the notes that I just took literally 20 minutes off the phone call with Mike. So these are his notes that I'm going to go over with his case. And everyone said it didn't happen to him. Good luck. There's nothing we can do. We're not going to report it because if we report it, the board might come after us and take our medical license, or who knows who's going to come after us and try and like take my career away as a medical profession because I don't want to report these things that are happening to human suffering. So I'm going to go over Michael's case. A very thin young man, very in shape. He exercised, surfing, like to do all these different things. And then in April of 2021. So I'm just going to kind of go over the timeline. April of 21. Okay, sound out. Okay, sound is out. Can anyone hear me? The sound test the sound. I have a thing here that says the sound is out. Is the sound still out, Barbara? Is the sound still out? If anyone's out there, we have four people here that are we have four people here that are on. I need to know if the sound is working because I don't want to record this and not have sound because people need to know this. People need to be able to hear this and understand this. What's going on? I can hear you. Okay, Adrian. Thank you. Okay, so some people can hear us. So Barbara, is the sound still on off? Okay, we have one person that can hear me. So anyway, I'm just going to go on because I'm just fired up, man, because there's just too many people that are suffering with this thing. So Mike had the you know what starts with an M, April of 2021, and he got the first and the second this right here in April. And guess what? He was sick for 2 weeks. He was sick for 2 weeks in bed for 2 weeks. Now this is him right here, and he says that he was suffering. he was dizzy, and he was throwing up. So this caused him to throw up. So what I think happened to him is he got the thing, and that caused an autoimmune disease to happen. He probably had a low grade autoimmune disease in his body prior to getting the you know what, and this flared the autoimmunity, and then he has an autoimmune attack against his brain, specifically part of his brain, his cerebellum, because he was throwing up. He was violently throwing up. He couldn't keep any food down. He was violently throwing up. They didn't know what was going on after the you know what. He ended up in the hospital. He was on a feeding tube. Okay, so he was on a feeding tube. So how many people out there are like this, that had this done to them, that ended up are damaged now, and now they're looking for a way out, and they have no recourse. There's nothing out there right now that's going to be able to help you. Very minimal resources out there. So this is in August. So this is in April. And then he was throwing up, ended up in the hospital, lost a bunch of weight. They put a feeding tube in him. They did some tests on him. And guess what? They found that he had H. pylori. So because he's throwing up, he has H. pylori. So what's the remedy for H. pylori? If you know anything out there, the remedy for H. pylori is antibiotics. So now he was put on antibiotics. He was put on 14 rounds of 2 different antibiotics for 14 days. His symptoms did get better. And then they waited 14 days, and then he got put on another 2 different antibiotics for another 14 days. So this is a 45-day process. So 15 days, 15 off, and 15 days on. And then he was getting better. And then in late October, he's still having dizzy spells. He drives, he gets car sickness, like things pass in his visual fields, and he gets sickness. And he just can't function. He's not the same person he was prior to you know what. And the whole medical profession says, nope, it didn't cause it. There's nothing we can do. Good luck to you. So he said he's so desperate right now. He spent $30,000 trying to figure out his problem. And you know what he told me? He's in California. You know what he told me? Why did he get the you know what? You know why? Because the mandate. He was going to lose his job. Dude, I gotta get that, or else I'm going to lose my job. Man, I don't know. I feel like crying right now, because there is so much suffering out there. And the people that are suffering out there, guess what? They're silent. They have to be silenced. You can't have this uproar, just like up in Canada, right? Canada has been so suppressed for 2 years, way worse than the United States. They're busting at the seams. This is what's happening. There's people out there, you out there, there's friends that you know out there that have been damaged like this, and they're told, go away. We're not going to do anything. Tough luck. He spent $30,000 trying to figure out a problem. Now, I just talked to him. The first time I talked to him was today. He's got a lot of things going on. So he's, no, guess what? No, he had the first and second one in that, and he got COVID after that. Not once, but twice. He's like, I can't believe this. He did this to me. And then early November of 2021, he was again sick and bedridden, and now he has chills, night sweats, panic attacks, dizziness, and he no longer can enjoy his life that he once had. His gut, he said, his gut is completely destroyed. His gut's completely gone, completely destroyed, he said to me. And he said to me, you know what? He has panic attacks. And he said, you know what? This guy, he's like a surfer dude, like calm, yay, man, like taking the world one second at a time. Like that's how he was. Like that's no longer how he is. He's stressed out, anxiety attacks, chills, night sweats, pain. He can't drive. If he drives, he gets car sickness. If he can't surf, you know why he can't surf? Because that has to do with balance in your brain. I'm sure if we did the testing, he'd be filled with a bunch of autoimmune disease. So you know what I said to him? I said, Mike, you know what? You got to get out there. You got to tell the truth, man. Start talking to people. We got to do an uprising. We got to actually be out there and like, this is the truth. This is what's happening to people. And at the end of the day, he got this strictly because he was going to lose his job, man. And I'm not dismissing that COVID isn't bad and COVID hasn't caused death in people's life. I'm not saying any of that nature. What I'm saying to you is a broad statement that you need to do this or you're going to lose that. And there's no consequences if they do this thing. And there's a bunch of consequences because they had to do this thing because it was forced on them. They were going to lose their living. Like, that's not America. That's not what we stand for. And there are, I would be willing to bet you take how many people are got this over the world? Millions and hundreds of millions of people. There are millions and millions of people that now will have chronic health problems their whole entire life, forever, because this causes or can cause autoimmune disease. And once you have an autoimmune disease, you have the autoimmune disease forever. You can never get rid of an autoimmune disease. Once you have it, it's there forever. Now it's a management game. How can you manage your autoimmune disease so you don't get flare up, so you don't have a autoimmune disease against your brain, so you don't have myocardial impairment, so you don't have dizziness spells? If you're out there, there are people out there just like you that are suffering. Here, I'm reading some things. Adrian, who knows? Like, how long does the body keep producing those toxic proteins after the thing? Who knows? All this stuff's a mystery, right? Does it ever stop? I don't know. Those are good questions. Those are good questions that should have been asked and should have been dealt with before we had this thing that happened to suffering in this world. So anyway, I don't know. You know why I got on here? Because I'm getting so many phone calls a week on this. Not one, not rare. It's weekly. It's two times a week. You know, I ask people, so you had these problems. Then did you get this? And they say, yeah. And so let's say they had a problem. Let's say you had a problem before that, right? And then I'll ask, so you had the problem before, and then you got this. Then what happened after? Then whatever I had before, I got this is 1,000 times worse. A 26-year-old guy, like seriously, like. Anyway, I just had to get on here, and I was always debating if I should even get on here and say this stuff, because who knows? Like, you may not ever see me again. My station could be banned after I post this. I have no idea. I'm just like, there's so much suffering out there. I pray for you if you're out there. If you watch this video after this, there's hope. There's possibility out there. You just got to look for the truth. I try and stand for a beacon of truth. Everyone on here, I appreciate it. We only have 3 people watching me right now. Anyway. Just reading some stuff. Anyway, peace out. Love you guys. Take care.